fist fight waiting to happen out there.
They don't like us, we damn for sure don't like them.
Yeah, it is a rivalry Sunday in the National Football League, headlined by that main event in Baltimore. The undefeated Steelers taking on the Baltimore Ravens, sitting in second place in the AFC North. And the first time Big Ben made an appearance against the Ravens was in relief of an injured Tommy Maddox. In the second week of his rookie season, he strolls in, and they lost the game, but he started the next week, and they won 13 regular season starts that year under Big Ben. And the rest, as we say in Pittsburgh, for Big Ben and this team, is history. It is NFL Game Day morning. Presented by Lowe's, we put the home and home team, hour number 2. In case you missed hour number 1, we revealed Michael Irvin's emotional support Dallas Cowboys stuffed animal. Steve Mariucci started the show with a piece of tape of me being simulcammed over DK Metcalf running through Buda Baker. That has made an impact. I'll be honest. I'll look at my Twitter feed. It's made an impact.
You're welcome.
You're a factor. You're a factor. And still to come is Big Ben's conversation with Kurt Warner, who will also give us his 2 cents. You can see down there about Tua's big start. It's Tua time in South Florida. Steve Mariucci, you first, however, in hour number 2. How do the Steelers stay perfect today in Baltimore?
You know, Rich, you're going to have to score a lot of points, all right? And it's not so much just scoring 30. It's when you score, all right? Here's what I mean. If the Steelers can get out in front 10-0 or 14-3, get out in front and make the Ravens get a little nervous and a little edgy and start coming out of their game plan because they like to run the football. You make them throw the ball more than they really want to, and you can get them out of their element. Here's a stat. When the Ravens are losing at halftime, Rich, they're 0-6. They don't have the ability to come back. When they're winning, they're 22-0. Get in front of those guys early and make them start throwing more than they want to, Kurt.
And that's with Lamar Jackson at quarterback. I know that's what you're saying, Coach. And I look at this matchup and I say it's Blitzburg against Blitzmore. These are the top 2 blitzing teams in the National Football League, and Baltimore blitzes more than the Steelers do. So how do you handle the blitz in this situation? It goes to Big Ben and it goes to Lamar Jackson. How they handle the blitz, I believe, will determine how this game plays out. Is that you can't make negative plays. You got to find ways to get the ball out of your hands. And Michael, when I watch these 2 offenses, you got Pittsburgh that has a bunch of built-in quick throws. You'll see Big Ben get back, get the ball out of his hands, and attack the blitz that way. Lamar Jackson and company are more built on the play action and throws down the field. Gave him problems last year when he played against this Pittsburgh defense. So that, to me, is going to be the matchup. Blitz against blitz. Which quarterback handles it better?
And you're talking on the front end, Kurt, picking up those blitz. I want to talk about that back end and these young receivers that Pittsburgh have going up against them dogs that the Baltimore Ravens have. And I always talk to you guys about there's a difference between a beating and a breaking. You know, you attack a person's weakness, you want to beat them, attack a strength, you want to break them. I'm guaranteeing you right now today, the DBs for the Ravens are looking to try to break these young receivers. So these 3 young receivers, they have to step up and be ready for this attack. When they're blitzing on one end, they're going to be jamming and bumping on the back on the back end and trying to take these young guys out. They have to man up for that challenge. That's how they stay undefeated today. They have to man up for that challenge and do not let them break them. And I watched Claypool even last week because he was getting into a little stuff with the DB, and he didn't back down. He'll have to show that again today.
Yeah, the young rookie out of Notre Dame. It's been a couple weeks since he's been scoring multiple touchdown games, and we'll see what happens later on today. Obviously, we're not done talking about this game by a long shot, and that includes this report from Mike Garafolo in Baltimore.
Well, Rich, a lot of talk about this Ravens offense, and maybe it hasn't been in top form. And that's why Lamar Jackson and his targets spent the bye week throwing on their own at the facility to try to get that chemistry and timing back to maybe what it was last year. But these Ravens players are saying, hey, we're still pretty good right now. In fact, I spoke to tight end Nick Boyle the other day. I thought he put it best. He said, we're 5-1. We're scoring 30 points per game. Yeah, it could be a little bit cleaner. We've got to cut down on some penalties, but folks think we can just score 49 points per game. We can do that, just not going to happen every week, he said. But the important thing is that we peak at the right time. That's something they didn't do last year, Rich.
Okay, and then up the road a bit, if you will, in eastern Pennsylvania, home of the Philadelphia Eagles, home of the 2017 World Championship banner. It is the latest installment of Cowboys and Eagles. James Palmer is already there in Lincoln Financial Field prior to this Sunday nighter. Take it away, James.
A lot of people confuse me and Jane, Rich. It's all right. Now, you're fitting you saw that banner up there as you saw the 2017 Philadelphia Eagles as the Super Bowl champs. And since they won that with backup quarterback Nick Foles, a culture of battling through adversity was created by Doug Peterson. And he commended his team this week again on how they've gone through this early portion of the season, where both of these teams had Super Bowl aspirations. Both of these teams have been littered with injuries, and both have just 2 wins. But that culture's been established in Philadelphia. In Dallas, it still appears that they're still finding ways to try to weather the storm through an early portion of the season that has had a lot of ups and many more downs.
Storylines piling up on these Cowboys. Players are talking anonymously to reporters. They don't know what they're doing, and they're bad at their jobs.
Where there is negativity out there, I think it's important to handle things as men.
Where would you have a leadership void? Is it an experience void? Is it a talent void?
Going to throw deep down the field. The guy's wide open. Goodbye. Everybody gets a big play. I mean, we've seen too much of this for too long.
When I go into the locker room, there's no leadership void.
Not saying he's going to get fired, not saying he should be fired.
This is a bad football team.
All right, Ian Rappaport, you were kind enough to call in on my show just a couple of days ago, and we were having this very conversation about the Dallas Cowboys and if they're sellers or buyers, or if Sunday night has anything to do with it, or the fact that this is a division that still can be won despite their 2-5 record. What do you make of all the releases that we saw this week?
Rich, they tried to be sellers. They ended up selling Everson Griffin to the Detroit Lions just for a conditional 6th-round pick. We're not able to trade Dontari Poe. We're not able to trade Darryl Worley. So they cut both of those guys. And the reason they jettisoned 3 veterans, Rich, was not to send a message. And I talked to a high-ranking Cowboys source about this yesterday. It was just to get some fresh, new faces on the field. It's about going younger, maybe getting a little bit faster, and just getting rid of some guys who are just not performing. And they really do believe that the infusion of some youth will help today. For instance, you're going to see Randy Gregory get a little more snaps on the edge. They believe that is going to help. And, you know, it's obvious that the defense has been a problem. Last-ranked defense in the NFL. Run defense specifically, this Cowboys source mentioned, has been a frustration. They practiced well this week. They're starting to see things in practice as they want them. What I was told, if they play like they practiced this week, they'll win.
That's a tall order again with a rookie starting in themselves tonight. A 7th-round choice out of James Madison by way of Pitt in Ben DiNucci, which we'll discuss later on. I think, as you could see, Michael Irvin has popped out Champ, the emotional support lone wolf.
Every time we talk Cowboys.
And Torrey Smith says the thing looks sick, just like the team.
I see you, Torrey. I see you, Torrey.
Hey, T.
Wow.
Hey,
I mean,
man, what is he talking about?
Wow.
Champ looks great. He looks much better than the team.
Wow. That'll cause Herb to need more emotional support, I think.
Right, man. Oh.
I mean, it just seems like, again, they're trying. I mean, they're trying.